Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Rocktail Roundtable. Pam Lunzman has been kind enough to join me here today, and we're going to talk about what's going on out at the fort with the Northern Fort Plays. Before we jump into things, I want to thank our roundtable sponsors here that make these possible. North Star Federal Credit Union on Highway 10 of Britain. Creative Concepts with Emily Van Lith, Main Street of Britain. And Metabolic Hoops Academy with MJ Rabick. You can catch him online or in person. So thanks for joining me today. How have you been?
Pretty good.
And busy.
And busy. Just got wound up ready to start this year.
Yeah, so outside of helping Tom with insurance, you keep the Strand Theater going. And now we're planning for the 20th season
the
of
20th anniversary, yeah.
The plays out at the fort.
Right.
So what exactly is it called? Is it Northern Fort Playhouse?
Yeah, we've kept the Northern Fort Playhouse name. It was started in 2006. And they named it that at that time. Northern State University was a part of it. So that combined not only Northeastern South Dakota, but Northern State University at the same time and put it together. And right now we haven't decided to change any names. So
It still fits pretty well being in the northern half of the state here.
that's what I figured.
And do you get any students yet from Northern that have interest in coming over to be a part of the plays?
Yeah, all of our actors last year, I believe every one of them was from Northern. One of them now has transferred to Jamestown to do theater because Northern closed their theater department. But three for sure are from Northern, and we also have a young high school student that's joining us this year.
All right, so getting some young talent in there, but also a little bit of experience.
Yes, correct.
And adults as well?
We don't have any this year. We have had. Jen Boyko acted with the Playhouse 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago.
Okay.
So that was kind of fun.
Yeah. If someone was interested in getting involved, when are auditions typically? Are there auditions?
Generally, yes, there are auditions. They put it on our Facebook page, and there's an audition link that you can send in your auditions to our artistic director, and then she'll review those.
All right, so a pretty easy process then.
It's pretty easy, yeah.
Yep.
We're still looking for at least either a male and a female or 2 males. So
Okay.
still parts open.
And they can check out the Northern Fort Playhouse Facebook page if they want more details about that?
Correct.
Okay.
We're working on the website right now. The website was done under Northern State University, so now we've had to redo one. So we're still working on that, but the Facebook page is up and running.
Cool. Where was I going next? This is the problem with freelancing these, but so I got a little bit of a taste of the plays. I used to own a party bus and shuttled people out there one year, and so I got to see the setup. Typically, each year you do 2 different plays, right? And they're kind of offset weeks.
Correct. The reason for that was when they started the Playhouse in 2006, it was to bring people to the fort because they had just then finished the renovation of 13 of the original buildings out there. And so Kurt Jones was the founder of the Playhouse, and so it was his idea to use live theater to draw people out to the fort so that they could see what the fort is all about. And so they created the double plays. So on Friday and Saturday, you would see 2 different plays if you went out and camped. Or if you came out Saturday and Sunday, you could see 2 different plays. So no matter what your weekend schedule was, you were able to see 2 live theaters. And so we try to do 1 musical and 1 comedy each year.
So a little bit of something for everyone that way.
We try, yes.
Yeah, and I found it nice because when I brought people out, there's enough time beforehand for me to go out and explore what the fort had to offer too. So you take in a little bit of that and then get to see a play.
Yeah, and then Allie has added to the plays her Stars and S'mores and her the tours at night, so those patrons that come out to see the plays can, after they get done there, they can go tour by lantern light or participate in some of the other activities that she gets lined up to.
All right. So those are taking place for the 20th anniversary this summer. What time of summer do those happen?
We try to do the weekend after the 4th of July. So this year we'll start on July 10th. So our opening night will be Friday night, July 10th, around the 11th and 12th. Then the 17th, 18th, and 19th. And then we close up on the 24th and the 25th. So we don't do the Sunday on the last weekend.
Okay. Is there a cost for the play? And then do people also need a state park sticker?
They do not need a state park sticker. They're welcome to purchase one if they want to. They can come back. If they're only coming for the plays, they don't need one. That'll be part of their admission with their cost. Tickets have several different prices. The basic, just to come to the theater alone, is $16 for an adult. If you're going to come for a dinner theater, then that increases. If you come and you book both plays at the same time, we have what we call a season pass, and there's a reduction on those ticket prices. So there's a variety of prices, and then our Sunday luncheons have another price on them too. So
it's very cool that you have a dinner theater option and kind of some hors d'oeuvres on some other nights. Some different groups help out with that.
Yeah, we do. Our Friday nights are hors d'oeuvres nights, and right now we have an excellent board of volunteers, and they like to help with that. Jean Cole is a fantastic cook, and she likes the hospitality, so she's done some amazing Friday nights for us. And then we have board members that come in and help with that as well. And then we've also, depending on the year, we try not to tax like a certain entity every time, but we've had, with the Wynn Winery out there, we've had a few other different wineries, we've had some breweries out there. We try to use those as a way to advertise for local, what's going on locally, and let people know about that, and it's kind of it's a win-win for us. So we got somebody serving what they have, and then we don't have to do that, and then they get the advertisement as well. So
for sure, I was a big fan of the wine night.
Yeah, Friday nights is there, and then we have beer and wine on Saturday nights as well with the dinner option. And a few years ago, this was when Mark had the lunch place downtown here. When Mark was our chef, and he would give us dinner options. When I first started, there was just one meal. That's all you had to choose. Now you have an option of an entree. He'll pair the vegetables and the salads and stuff will all be the same for everybody, but you can choose between two different entrees. And that's gone over really good. And he's back again as our chef again this year. He was there last year too, so he does a good job. A lot of people love his food. So
yeah, that is for sure. He does a nice job. Have you been around all 20 years? How did you get involved with this?
No, I started in 2009, and kind of, if you work with somebody who's in the theater, you kind of just follow along because his job comes into your job. But Tom was on the board at that time, and actually it was Karen Devine that came in, and I had another executive director, and they just couldn't afford to pay her what she wanted, so she came in and she said, Tom says you can do this while you're working. So if you want this job, would you sell tickets? Well, it's turned into a lot more than just selling tickets, yep. But that's how it started. I sold tickets and I organized things, and I just like it, so I just stay there, and year after year, so.
Yeah, and there have been a lot. I know people appreciate the work you put into it. Is there a favorite play that you've had since you've been here?
It's really hard. I was looking through some of the pictures as I'm working on the website here. I liked last year's Charlie Brown. I thought that was well done. Kate Wismer was our artistic director, and she did a great job with the choreography. The sound was good. The vocals were great. I've also been a fan of the Marvelous Wonderettes. We've had, I think, all 4 of their different shows. We had a big band one time that had a lot of American songs. That one I remember liking. I don't know. I like most theater, and the good thing is I'm there for every show, so eventually I see the whole show no matter what.
Right. Do you get to select the shows, or what's the selection process like?
When we had the artistic director from Northern, we didn't have a lot of say in it. That has kind of changed over the years, and obviously now with Northern closing their theater department, and we select our own artistic director. This year, the board had a lot of say in it. The artistic director that we have is Carmen, and she directed one of the plays last year and acted in it. She'll also be acting and directing this year. Carmen Huber from Aberdeen, and she had a couple. We wanted to do the sequel to Charlie Brown, which is Snoopy, but she was really in favor of doing The World According to Snoopy, which is a little different play. So we decided that would go all right. It's a small cast, so that's affordable for us. And then she chose The 39 Steps, which I hadn't ever seen anything, but it's all over YouTube. And it's a funny play, so there's a lot of comedy in it, and old English comedy type of thing, so kind of looking forward to that.
Yeah, that should be fun. So a comedy and then also a Snoopy, so something for the kids too?
Yeah, Snoopy will be a lot like the Charlie Brown was last year.
Okay.
You know, it's low set, so we don't have a lot to set we have to purchase or design or build. You know, a small cast, and that's makes it affordable for our budget. So
yeah. If there were words of advice or encouragement for someone who wanted to get involved with this, what would you have to say to them?
Pick up the telephone and call me. We'll find a spot. There's so many things. What I really am somebody that advocates for using somebody else's talents. You know, when Jean came on the board, you know, and we found out how great she was at hospitality, it's like, you don't need to do anything else. You can just do our Friday nights. That's fantastic, you know. I like to do a lot of crafting, so a lot of times I create a lot of the decor that goes on the tables, you know, just because I like that is what I like to do. Chuck Dakota is our lighting and sound, and we all know that he knows a lot about that, and being on the board now, you know, he's really an advantage, you know, that we can't have, and he's trained some younger people, and we've got some kids. I think Jared is coming back this year to do some lighting and sound when Chuck's not available, and, you know, he can't climb the ladders and do all the things, so he's got some younger ones to help him, and there's just a lot of different things that can be done according to whatever you feel most comfortable with.
Yep.
I think the hardest thing for most of the board members is raising the money, coming up with the money, and that's because it's hard to ask.
Right.
You know, but.
And in a small area, everyone is asked always.
Always, yes. I try not to tax, you know, the same people, but we do. You know, this year it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for us because Northern used to cover all our advertising costs. They covered a lot of our production costs of our brochures and rack cards and all that stuff and mailing it. You know, all that now is going to be ours. So we are going to be down at least $5,000 to start. But we've been in connection with Sisseton Courier, and they do some good production over there. So I think we might be going that route. We tried to do something with all the local areas. You know, we're attached to Webster, Sisseton, you know, Britain. So we tried to use businesses or, you know, whatever expertise is in those different areas.
Right, and there's a lot of talent to go around. So,
yes.
Very excited for this year. Any last tidbits that you'd like people to know about coming to the shows this year?
Everything's pretty much the same as the past years. We try to meet whatever your needs are. There's handicap accessibility there. We can get you in. A few years ago, I raised enough money to air condition the South Barracks, so no longer do we have to sweat.
Right.
We try to keep the shades down so that it stays nice and cool in the rock building, which it does now. It's a lot better than what it used to be when I first started. We need your help. We need your attendance. That's the biggest thing. Please come out and attend a show or two. And if you know of somebody that wants to be a part of it, give me a call. If you got some donations, we definitely need it. We have an extensive budget for a short amount of time, but we want to make sure we have enough money to pay our actors, and we want to be decent, you know.
Yes.
And if we end up with more money than what, then it goes back to the actors.
Yeah, I'd imagine if people aren't able to donate, ticket purchase goes a long way for you as far as an audience and supporting the cast in the audience.
Oh, yes.
But that ticket purchase goes a long way too.
It's really hard to perform to, you know, 10 or 15 people. Would really like to fill, get at least 100 people per show would be really nice. My goal since I started was 1,000 people per season. We still haven't made it, but we're working on it,
Yep.
We used to be able to do about 800. It's kind of dropped here. So we're hoping to pick that back up again.
Cool. Well, really appreciate you putting all the work into this. I'm excited for the 20th season and should make it out there this year for that. And I encourage all of you to do so as well. Thank you again for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you, and come out to the Playhouse.
Perfect. All right. That is going to do it for this episode of Rocktail Roundtable. Thanks for joining in, and keep an eye on our Rocktail Facebook page to see what we'll have for you next.